Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. In segment one, we were talking about last night's game between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics, who now lead the series 3-0. As we go into segment two, I do want to remind you once again that we get a number of questions and comments during our shows. If you go to gsmcpodcast.net and leave a tip or a donation, that will put your question at the top of our list, ensuring that we see it. We love engaging with questions and comments, so go to gsmcpodcast.net. Now, moving into segment two, we are remembering Jerry West, a monumental figure in basketball history who passed away at the age of 86 this week. Known as Mr. Clutch, West's remarkable career spanned over 6 decades, during which he excelled as both a player and an executive, setting the gold standard in the NBA. Drafted by the Lakers in 1960, West quickly became a franchise icon, leading the team to 9 NBA Finals and securing 1 championship as a player. His on-court prowess, highlighted by his exceptional scoring and defensive skills, earned him 14 All-Star selections and 12 All-NBA honors. West's impact extended beyond his playing days. As an executive, he masterminded the Showtime Lakers of the 1980s, orchestrated the Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant era, and contributed to the success of the Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors, and LA Clippers. His eye for talent and strategic acumen garnered him 2 Executives of the Year awards. West's legacy is further immortalized by his silhouette, widely believed to be the model for the NBA logo. Despite his success, West was driven by a relentless pursuit of perfection, often haunted by losses. His autobiography, West by West, reveals his struggles with depression and the psychological scars from his playing days. Nevertheless, West's dedication and competitive spirit made him a revered figure in basketball, earning accolades like the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The basketball community mourns the loss of a legend whose contributions shaped the league. West's life and career were celebrated through a video tribute and a moment of silence before last night's Game 3 of the NBA Finals. His enduring influence and the respect he commanded from players and executives alike underscore his unparalleled impact on the game. Tate, as we remember Jerry West, we were talking earlier during that production walk about the fact that he retired from playing the year before I was born. So this man has been around for a long time. His impact is going to be remembered for even longer. And even as a child who did not grow up in a sports family, I still knew the name. I probably couldn't have told you why I knew the name, but I did know who he was.
I agree. It's, when you just think about his numbers as a player, 14 years in the league, 14 years he was an all-star, 9 NBA finals. I know, and you talk about in his book, he talks about being haunted by some of his losses as a player. He ran into a buzzsaw. That was the Bill Russell Celtics. No one had a shot against them, but they were still able to be a champion. He's the logo of the NBA. And I don't think of him of any of that whatsoever. I think of him as the greatest general manager of all time in college, in basketball, as it talked about, orchestrating, putting together the Showtime Lakers, arguably one of the greatest dynasties of all time, orchestrated the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, one of the greatest dynasties of all time, helped orchestrate the Splash Brothers and the Golden State Warriors, one of the greatest dynasties of all time, helping rebuild the Clippers, his time in Memphis, turning Memphis around, or the Grizzlies around. Can't remember if he was when they were in Vancouver or just in Memphis, but he helped turn Memphis around, or the Grizzlies. He's been, whenever he's not been a general manager, he's been a consultant, an advisor. He has helped so many teams and so many players throughout his career. That's what I think of when I think of Jerry West. The league definitely has lost one of their marquee players, one of their marquee faces. One of the greatest Lakers of all time. When you start to think about the Lakers are always star-studded, but you think back to West and Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem and Magic and LeBron and Kobe, and you start thinking about all the greats, but it kind of starts with Jerry West. Him and Wilt are the original architects. After them, that's when Kareem came in. Once Kareem was in, then Magic came in. After that, then Shaq and Kobe came in. It's been that consistency of greatness at the Lakers, which was all started by Jerry West, the player, and Jerry West, the general manager. So that's a big loss for the world of basketball in the last few years. I know he was consulting and doing some things with the Clippers, but mostly he's been I believe he's been just kind of retired now. But man, that's a rough one. And I saw that he went the way a lot of people would like to say they've gone. He went into sleep, from everything I've heard. So go ahead.
Well, just listening to you list his accomplishments and listening to many people in the sports world the last day-ish talk about his accomplishments, the man's mind for basketball was simply astounding. And you mentioned, you think he was pretty well retired, but I mean, he was 86. he was 86, and
he was retired. He just finished.
Yeah, but it's been a rough month for the basketball world, because this is the second in memoriam segment that we have done.
Absolutely,
we've lost some huge.
Bill Russell, Bill Russell a little while ago, and then Bill Walton. Now, Jerry West. One thing I was surprised that he's only been general manager, executive of the year only twice. That's a travesty. That, executive of the year, it should be the Jerry West executive of the year. The award should be named after him. He should have won that thing so many times.
You think it should have been like his 14 seasons and his 14? Like, yeah. He should have just every year.
You're telling me when the Lakers, the Showtime Lakers are going, he should have won it at least 2 to 3 times with the Showtime Lakers. Shaq and Kobe, he should have won it a couple of times with Shaq and Kobe. He should have won it a couple of times with the Warriors. What he's done, what he did and for the Clippers, he should have been a major contender for it. They didn't win it, but man, they put together some impressive teams with the Clippers, an organization that was an outright dumpster fire. He turned them around. The man has been a genius. It's just weird when you start looking at all these tributes and you start realizing what a great player he was, because you forget about it. He was gone before I was even paying attention to basketball. Before I even knew basketball existed, Jerry West was done with basketball.
Before I was even alive.
Before Sarah was even alive. So you look around, I don't think of him as the player. I just think of him as the amazing executive. But there's a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of experts that put him as one of the all-time great players of all time. And we're talking about him being one of the all-time great general managers, executives of all time. Talk about bookending your career better than most. Only person I can think of that can even compete with that is Pat Riley, which was one of Jerry West's people.
Well, I mean, some people don't get either of those in their life.
Exactly.
let alone both, to be that impressive as not only a player, but then also moving out of being a player into being an executive. that is a transition that not every player gets to make, not every player has the ability to make, and not every player is successful at when they do make it. So,
you know, when you talk about, and people talk about LeBron, 20 years of excellence. 20 years of excellence is impressive. Look at Tom Brady, 20 years of excellence. Then you look at Jerry West, 50, 60 years of excellence.
yeah.
That's more than most people's lives. 50, 60 years. 14 every year in All-Pro. An amazing career as an executive and a consultant. 50, 60 years of sheer excellence. One of the greats are gone, and that's sad.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and it's kind of a sad note to end on, but let's go ahead and take our next break of this episode. When we come back, switching back to college sports and the ongoing topics that evolved from that, we'll be talking about Brent McMurphy's recent statements about Clemson and Florida State. You are tuned into the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back.